What's up, guys? This is Ghost at Ghost in a Shell podcast. It's been a little bit. I know, I understand, but life happens, things occur, and today I have quite an episode to speak about. This has to do with scams and being scammed in the past and watching out for other people so that it doesn't happen to them. Before we get into the episode, I'd like you to know that you're special, you're great, you're an amazing people and persons. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your visions. Don't give up on your ideas. If you have business plans, business ideas, do your best to fulfill what you can from it. It doesn't mean that, oh, that was my cell phone. It doesn't mean that everything's going to work. Think about it in this way. If you attempt something you fail, your efforts don't go unnoticed, right? And if you observe what your mistake was, then you have gained proof of knowledge, proof of wisdom, proof of concept that you can actually do something and see it through to the end. And I'm just saying, if you got ideas, I mean, yeah, it might be hard to get to a point where you need thousands of dollars to start marketing and doing all this other stuff, but it's possible. There's plenty of things that are possible in this nation, I guess you would say, and let alone this world. It's things like this, your failures, your small wins, all the way to your big wins, and all the way to your really humongous wins. The worst you can do is get tired and then need rest to regain the energy and then go and possibly try again. Okay, so last Friday, I was approached by a person from a company, and they said that their name was Glassbox Media. Okay, legit email. I have all the emails still. I have all the conversations. I had to print that stuff out just to save my ass and other things. So, person emailed me like, "Hey, are you interested in an interview? I need you to download this app and we'll go through the interview there." And I was like, hell yeah, like, why not? This is something that I've been looking for. The position was to be a podcast editor, okay? No pun intended. And it didn't have compensation, but they did say, the job description did say that there's a lot of benefits and other things like that. So I had filled out the application through Indeed and then was approached by this person. The name was called John Ingram. Didn't really ring a bell, didn't really cross my mind that I needed to research this name off the bat. There was just little clues here and there that kind of got me thinking, made me start questioning something. So, um, anyways, went through the interview, and I've done interviews in this pattern before, and they were legit interviews. I know for a fact, but I wasn't chosen for the opportunities, so that's how I know that some of them were real, some of them were like this. But anyways, and others I was offered the position, but it just wasn't matching what I was looking for at the time. So some of them got a pass, and some of them passed on me. I'll be honest. But this one in particular was an interview through text. We messaged each other back to back, back and forth. He asked me questions about the position, what I knew about audio engineering, what I knew about podcasting, what I knew about the company. And previous to that, I had actually looked up the company just to kind of find out what it was exactly. Now, there's multiple businesses called Glass Box. All right. When I did my research in the very beginning, I was like, all right, this company's real. The one that I thought, the company that I thought it was Glassbox. And the Glassbox, the original company, they have like really in-depth analytics for marketing for companies to really, I guess, a really great software as a service, right? And so I was like, oh, this is great. Like maybe I'll be doing the podcast editing for their company, right? And then come to find out, that wasn't the plan. This Glassbox was called Glassbox Media. This company was, right? And the person asked me a bunch of questions regarding the position and was like, all right, well, we got to the end of the interview. He's like, I'm going to get back to you, or the company will, within 48 hours. Now, this was Friday of last week. So that puts us we're on Tuesday, 12, 11. It was like the ninth or the 10th, 8th or 8th, one of those 3 days. And I was like, all right, cool. This is sounding great. I think I nailed this interview. I think this is going to be a great opportunity. It's a remote opportunity, something I've been looking for. And I just, I really believed that I nailed the interview. I know that I have audio in my background. I work with that material with my own podcast, with my own music, with my own video editing and content and all that stuff. So we go through the weekend, and I'm doing my own thing, as usual. Family, working on some of my personal stuff, and posting content on social media, and just enjoying my weekend. And then it comes Sunday. Sunday comes around, and I get an amazing email. I get an offer letter, and I get a welcome email stating, "Congratulations, Ricardo. We want to extend you an offer letter." And so I was like, holy crap, like teared up and everything. Like I was really excited. I was happy for this because it couldn't have came at the more right time. Um, to be more specific, why this couldn't have came at the right time is because the job I had previous, I had actually got promoted to a supervisor, and I was working with the company throughout this year, and then another position came up where it was a sales opportunity, but they were offering base pay at about 50K annual, and then plus commission on top of your base pay. So I was like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? Now, I left the other company I was working for because I was extended an offer letter from this new company that was based out in Los Angeles. And I had talked it up with my wife, like, we can do this, like, just let me go stay out there while I have to work, and then I can come home when I need to, to come spend time with the family. And so she bought it. She took that game plan and she was like, all right, let's do this. We can use this new change. And come to find out, that job didn't come. It didn't land like we expected. So now this new opportunity with Glassbox Media comes around, being a podcast editor. Um, couldn't have made us more excited. You know what I mean? So now fast forward to this moment, and all the emotions are flowing. The thoughts are ringing in my mind like, wow, I can't believe this. I finally found something that I'm good at. I can do, hands down. I know this kind of stuff in and out. I'm great at it. And my wife was excited, starting to get the kids pumped up, like, yeah, daddy's gonna be working from home, we're gonna be able to do some things like this and that, and maybe we could start making some plans and the works. And so here comes Monday, and now the person posing as John Ingram starts to message me saying that we need to walk through the onboarding process. So I was like, all right, yeah, this sounds legit. This is usual. They started giving me the welcome and the overview and the scope of my work or what I'd be doing, and I had to take notes, and it was just laying it all down for me and letting me know what the compensation would be, letting me know what kind of benefits would be available, and the works. You know what I mean? Like, this was just a blissful moment for me because it's been a little tough, and I was really excited, and I'm really grateful that all of that excitement didn't let a lot of these things that this person was telling me go over my head. Um, my research skills actually came in handy, and they really shined for this podcast, because if I wouldn't have researched, if I wouldn't have dug deeper, I probably would have been in a little bit of trouble as far as fraud, maybe even, and the list could go on. So, good thing that I caught it beforehand, and I wanted to make this podcast in order to make people aware that there are people out there that will walk you through the whole process and feed you dreams and tell you things that you want to hear, and they can really work your emotions. You know what I mean? And um, catch you at the right time. Let's just put it like that. And people are out there that really don't care. Like when I got to today now, after Monday comes, yesterday went great. Filled out all the paperwork that I needed to as far as the onboarding process. And then come today, um, we got to the point where he said, "Hey, I got some news for you. We're gonna give you some equipment. We need to ship it to you, and in order to ship it to you, we are gonna send you an e-check. You need to print it out. You need to deposit it to your bank through the mobile deposit, where you just take a picture of the front of the check, take a picture of the back, and then deposit it to your bank." And I was already, mind you, I was already asking some edgy questions because I was a little concerned, and I was like, this is a little getting a little weird for me because we haven't filled out a W-2 form, we haven't filled out the 1099. Like, you haven't told me if this is a contract position, if this is an official position, and you're sending me money already, and a sign-on bonus. So to be exact, it was about $2,500. Now, I was like, all right, let's just walk through this process. Let me see what the bank does. Either way, I could just cancel the check or the deposit, and we're good. I'm clear. I have all the messages saved. Like, there's no way that this could go wrong as far as I know, as far as I understand. So I deposited the check, printed it out, deposited it, took the pictures, did the whole shebang. I took a screenshot of the confirmation number, and at the bottom of the confirmation number, it said that the check was going to be on hold until like December 17th. So I was like, interesting. They've never done this with any of my personal checks that I've ever deposited, so this is questionable. This is something that's, obviously it's kind of teeter-tottering at the scam side of things. So I went and sent him the screenshot, and he was like, all right, great, cool. Now, since it's going to be until the 17th, can you use some of your money to pay for your work tools? Now, the list that he sent me of the tools that I was going to be receiving was like a iMac all-in-one, a sound engineer equipment, some nice-ass headphones. Like, this is a podcast editor's, remote podcast editor's dream come true. And it was about $4,400 worth, right? Now think about this. If he's sending me a check to pay for companies' equipment, but I'm gonna have it at my house, it's a little, like, this is already questionable at this point. So it's best to keep going with it and keep finding out what's next. What is this guy gonna say, or what is this person gonna come up with next? So during this time, I was already researching about Glassbox Media, and I found out through Google that Glassbox Media was actually funded from an investor, only one, and they were funded back in 2020, August 20th. And I asked them a question like, hey, was Glassbox Media funded by this company, blah, 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 for the pre-seed and for their pre-seed investment? And took a little while to message back, and he was like, well, yeah, actually it was on this date, and he told me the exact date. So I was like, I asked a question that he could see the same information to, or they could see. So let me dig a little deeper. So that's where I went looking on LinkedIn, and I looked up Glassbox Media to see what employees are working there, who's currently there, and I needed to see if there was a John Ingram there. So obviously, when I got to LinkedIn, that wasn't the case. There was no John Ingram, and so I went and was like, all right, if there's no John Ingram here, then why don't I check Glassbox Media, the actual platform? So I went and Googled, all right, John Ingram, Glassbox Media, and the thing that came up was an older gentleman. He's like a C-suit, red, blue collar, red collar, purple collar, whatever kind of guy, like a CEO, CFO, CEO guy in a suit, and he actually has a podcast on Glassbox Media, but it was him sharing his knowledge of like investing or some other stuff, and I was like, all right, this is not the guy that I'm talking to right now. I know there can be hundreds of other John Ingrams, but like there's no there's nowhere that's stating that there's a John Ingram working with Glassbox Media. And so I kept looking through their website and the or whatever, the platform, and I was trying to click on some of the stuff, and there's just nothing. Nothing's going anywhere. Even the social media links that they have on there, it kept going to like YouTube to where a video where it shows, oh, this video is being processed and blah blah blah. So, anyways, I got the link from uh, that podcast that had a guy named John Ingram, and I sent that link to the text messages where I was talking to this person posing as a John Ingram, and I was like, hey, like, there's nowhere online that it states you are an employee at Glassbox Media. Like, what is this link? Why is this guy on the podcast? Is it you? Like, pretty much, you know what I mean? Asking a question without asking a question. And after that, there was a question I asked previous to that, and he didn't answer. And then I came with that link, and the person just stopped answering. All they would do is read the messages, and now I have not received any messages whatsoever. So the point I'm making is that if you're not cautious with your information, right? If you happen to come across a similar altercation or a similar conversation with somebody, if they don't offer you off the back like a W-2, a 1099, if they don't want to see you face to face, at least through like what, Zoom, Google Meets, even talk to you on the phone, like it can be a little fishy, right? It can be because there are some interviews where yes, it can be done that way. It can be done, but I mean, I don't know if a company as like Google could really hire somebody through just a few text messages of like getting to know a person. You know what I mean? It's just that Google is too technical, but I could understand when it comes to like audio engineering and stuff like that. It's questionable, but all I wanted to do was explain the story and let you know so that you're aware that um, there's people scamming people, posing as legit companies or posing as people, and they're out there to get you, of course, for money. So it sucks. I thought I had an amazing opportunity. I thought I had a new career in the career that I'm enjoying right now. You know what I mean? And like my logic behind having, a career path is to keep that as my like secondary firearm. You know what I mean? Like that's what takes care of my bills, while on my own personal time I'm able to work on my own projects, my YouTube channel, my podcast. Like there's plenty of people out there in the world that do it. You know what I mean? Now I don't know if this is what will take me to full-time podcaster, full-time music artist, full-time CEO, entrepreneur. Maybe that might be, a small portion of the vision slash dream that I've got, but it's just things get tough, And if you're not careful, if you don't do the research yourself, um, you can get scammed. You can get scammed for a lot of money or a little bit of money. There was another altercation recently. I actually had some savings. I was building up my savings again, and it was like a nice restart. And at the time, I was like, all right, it's $50. I mean, it's not gonna hurt me too bad. It did piss me off at the time, but I was looking for a specific item, right? Um, I was looking for an item. It's a portable. How do you say, a portable solar panel like charger, where it's like a generator, right? But powered off the solar panels. And I found one that was pretty cheap. It was dirt cheap, $50, and I couldn't find it anywhere else at that price. So I was like, well, I think I'm gonna have to jump on this little shebang here. So I ordered it. I looked through the website and I was like, all right, yeah, this looks like it has some things, some items here that people have bought. Like it looks like those orders have been fulfilled. All right, it's should be cool. Now, there's some key identifiers that should, I'm not gonna say for every website, but what is really helpful to help you with your judgment on websites is BBB accreditation, terms of service, the copyright, the look at the footer of the page. Look at how many ads are on that page. Like, look at the legitness of a website, and actually look for reviews. Don't just look on their website. Like, some recommendation I give you is that if you Google an item from their site and put the name of their site, you can Google search it and look for reviews. Like, oh, did anybody review this item on this site? Blah 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 blah, and see what comes up. Man, Google does not hold out on giving the information, but it does host it. Now people can host as many pages as they want and scam as many people as they want, and if nobody says anything, more people can get done over. So um, that is what we don't want. You know what I mean? Hard earned money from people that are just either getting by or getting by pretty nicely, but it's still like, it still sucks. You know what I mean? You lose out on some money where somebody is just literally doing their research to impersonate certain things, and it's just it's sad, dude. It's sad what kind of things are done, and I hope that this podcast helps you out in any way, shape, or form. Um, I think that's about it for today's episode. I just wanted to try to keep it within 25 minutes. I think I got the story out there pretty well. And until the next episode, I'm looking more towards once a month thing with this podcast here at Anchor. Thank you very much, Anchor, for being such a great host. And anybody out there listening, be sure to spread the word that there are people out there to get you, man. Yeah. But the good thing is, they didn't get me. I've already spoken with my bank. Um, I have to save all the information that I have to keep my ass clear of any fraudulent doings or stuff, whatever you want to call it. And I've already messaged one of the people that works with the real Glassbox Media platform. I messaged them through LinkedIn, let them know what's going on. It was a promise I made to the bank that would inform them. And so yeah, I think I went about this pretty well, and I just wanted to share the story. Uh, Till next time, this is Rick J. Rayner Jr., aka Ghost, at Ghost in a Shell. Peace out.